It's the mid-1800s, Gainesville, Texas. A party of Comanche warriors swoops down on some lonely farms and steals horses and supplies, and then flees. A distress call goes out to a nearby U.S. command post. 100 soldiers make chase and on first contact, kill the Comanche general. Quanah Parker takes charge. Quanah is a legendary figure. His dad is chief, his mom a captured white colonist. Over 100 miles along the Red River, Quanah leads his men, hiding their tracks, switching back on treacherous roads. He loses the Americans in the mountains. And Quanah did this not as a full-grown man, but as a teenager. The modern male teenager is busy with homework and digital raiding parties. Quanah, at that same age, is outwitting the American government. Same raw material, wildly different abilities. Quanah was capable of this because native tribes had something we don't: rituals that turned boys into men. They had cultural technology that forcibly pushes males into adulthood. There's something to be learned from these tribes about what needs to happen to boys to make them truly grow up. So what does it mean for a boy to grow up? It's not just the passage of time. What is a real man? Your social media is saturated with potential answers. Is a real man this? The tech bro with his perfectly optimized daily routines? The cold plunges, micronutrients, meditation, red light therapy? Each day finely tuned to maximize professional accomplishment?
I meditate for 30 minutes every morning without fail.
I came up with the idea to create the perfect daily routine.
Or is the real man this? The alpha bro, the guns, the girls, the yachts, the money.
If you're not ripped, if you're not rich, if you ain't rare, if you don't stand out, it doesn't mean to me.
What's wrong with these options? What are they missing exactly?
Look, being a man, as opposed to a child, is putting your own interests, your own preferences last. Putting them behind other people in your family and in your community. That is the ancient and legitimate and maybe the only standard for manhood that is of any use to anybody. When the Titanic sank, there were men, extremely wealthy men, the leaders of commerce and industry, from the first-class cabins, who went down with the ship, that went down with the Titanic, and there were female crew and women in steerage, in fourth class, like extremely poor women, who got seats on those lifeboats because they were female. There was a terrible shooting in Aurora, Colorado some years ago. A guy opened fire with a rifle in a crowded movie theater, and 12 people were killed. A third of them, 4 of them, I believe 4 of them, were teenage boys who died because they stepped in front of their girlfriends in that moment. And that, I think, is the intuitive understanding of manhood.
A real man is defined by a willingness to sacrifice for others. That's not something that comes naturally to boys, though it does for girls.
If you've gone through childbirth, which a large majority of women have, you certainly have sort of proven yourself as being strong and courageous and having fortitude and willing to sacrifice yourself. Women already run huge risks by giving birth. The maternal mortality rate pre-Western medicine was 1% per birth. That's probably equivalent to a lot of combat.
Nature already provides women an intense initiation ritual, a clear before and after. In native tribes, female initiation rites tended to be minimal, perfunctory.
The vast majority of initiation rites are male. So the initiation rites that the boys undergo demonstrate to everyone that they are prepared to sacrifice themselves if asked, right? Males are effectively tortured, right? They are inflicted with an enormous amount of pain, run to exhaustion, starved, what have you, just to replicate all of those experiences in miniature, just to make sure that if you're not up for this, we want to find out now, rather than when we're battling our enemies.
Another key ritual of male initiation is the vision quest. And this isn't microdosing at Burning Man. Typically, the quest starts with a young man running through a gauntlet of physical punishment. Then he's sequestered in the woods, all alone, and forced to fast for days. Back home, his mother would prepare a ceremonial funeral for her son. The child is dead. Will the man return? Out in the woods, the boy waits for his vision, which will tell him his role in the tribe. This is anti-quarter-life crisis technology. That boy is forced to do what most modern boys don't. Ask deep questions of his purpose within the collective. Tribes also adopted rituals to keep encouraging sacrifice, to reinforce what a real man is. These rituals might seem barbaric, but they serve an essential purpose: make boys into real men. To encourage the self-sacrifice at the core of manhood. Without modern equivalents, so many boys stay stuck in permanent adolescence. This isn't male evolution, it's more male egoism. And the power of proper rituals is seen in the teenage Quanah Parker.
I think he probably demonstrated the minimum qualifications for manhood in his society. The standard was, of course, you'd be able to outrun the U.S. military in your own home terrain as a young Comanche warrior. Are you kidding? If you can't do that, you're not. What are you wasting our time for?
We have traces of these cultural tools in our country. Boy Scouts is built on indigenous rituals, demanding physical hardship in the natural world. Advancement requires the demonstration of concrete skills. Bar mitzvahs make boys explicitly commit, in front of their whole community, to abide by ancient laws and customs, rules for living that transcend their personal preferences. Junior ROTC subjects boys to battlefield conditions. Soldiers aren't guaranteed respect. They have to earn it. They have to demonstrate their use to the collective. We have our equivalents. Now we need to spread them.